Good morning, students, and welcome to your English grammar class. In our today's class, we will start lesson number 2 from your English grammar book, which is nouns. So, without wasting any time further, let's start our today's class. What is a noun? A noun is a word that is used to name a person, place, thing, or feeling. Let's now see a few examples. Names like James, Ria, Raj, etc. Places like Taj Mahal, India, Dubai, etc. Animals like dogs, cats, snakes, etc. Things like pencil, table, board, etc. Feelings or ideas like love, courage, hatred, etc. Let's now read about the different types of nouns. There are basically 8 types of nouns. First, the proper noun. Second, the common noun. Third, the concrete noun. Fourth, the abstract noun. Fifth, the collective noun. Sixth, the compound noun. Seventh, countable noun. And eighth, the uncountable noun. Let's first read about the proper nouns. A proper noun identifies a particular person, place, thing, festivals, organization, or days of the week or months of the year. Let's now see a few examples. For example, John, Dubai, Christmas, Sunday, July, etc. Let's now move on to the second type of nouns, that is the common nouns. A common noun does not define a particular or specific person, place, or thing, just like the proper noun does. It is a generic name given to one item in a class or group. For example, birds, trees, cats, and dogs, etc. Students, it's really important to note that there is one major difference between a common noun and a proper noun. Proper nouns are always capitalized irrespective of their position in the sentence. That is, they may come in the beginning of the sentence, or in the middle of the sentence, or at the end of the sentence. But in case of common nouns, unless they begin the sentence, they are not capitalized. For example, Radha bought a bicycle for her brother. Jane wants to become an air hostess. America is one of the most developed countries in the world. So, students, as we see in the first sentence, Radha is the proper noun and she has bought a bicycle for her brother. The brother and bicycle are the common nouns, so they are not capitalized. In the second sentence, Jane is the proper noun. That is why we have used capital letter here. In the third sentence also, America is the proper noun and countries is the common noun. Let's now read about concrete nouns. Concrete nouns are the nouns which exist physically, which means they can be recognized or perceived through your senses. Students, we have 5 senses: the sense of taste, the sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, and the sense of sight. You can touch, feel, see, hear, or feel them. These concrete nouns can be singular or plural as well. For example, wood, stone, table, clock, etc. Then comes abstract noun. Abstract noun refers to the ideas, emotions, qualities, or characteristics which do not have a physical reality, which means you cannot perceive them with your 5 senses. You cannot touch them, you cannot feel them, you cannot hear them, or see them, or smell them. For example, strength, ambition, confidence, etc. You cannot see, touch, feel, hear, or smell these things. The abstract nouns can be the feelings like of sympathy, of happiness, of confusion, or of anxiety, etc. Abstract nouns can be the states of freedom, of peace, of misery, of chaos, etc. They can be the emotions of anger, of sorrow, of happiness or love, etc. They can even be the qualities of beauty, honesty, courage, patience, etc. Let's now understand the ways in which the abstract nouns are formed. Abstract nouns can be formed in three ways. First, from common nouns. The common noun man becomes manhood, child becomes childhood. From adjectives, the adjective dark becomes darkness and poor becomes poverty. From verbs, the verb free becomes freedom and live becomes life. Students, it's really important to note that there are some abstract nouns which have the same form as the verbs. For example, ride will be ride and taste will be taste. These will not be changed. Let's now read about the fifth kind of noun, that is the collective nouns. Collective nouns are the words used to mean a group of. For example, if there is a group of books or a group of flowers, instead of using the word group, we will use the word a library of books or a bunch of flowers. A collective noun is used to name a group of places, animals, persons, or things as a unit. They are used to describe a group of the same things. For example, audience, crowd, team, etc. Let's now go through a few examples of collective nouns. An army of soldiers, a team of football players, a band of musicians, a swarm of insects, a flock of birds or goats, a pack of cards or wolves or thieves, a school of fish or dolphins or whales, a parliament of owls. It is important to note that collective nouns like majority, staff, crew, crowd, and family, etc., are nouns that denote a collection of persons, animals, or things, but they are always regarded as a single unit. For example, the staff of this school or hospital is hard working. We will never say the staff of this school or hospital are hardworking, even if there are many people involved. Likewise, if we see the second example, every family has a different set of rules and regulations. We will not use the word have, even though there are many people in the family, there are many members in the family. Let's now read about the compound nouns. A compound noun is formed when two words are combined to make a completely new word. The meaning of this new word must be significantly different from than the either of its parts individually. For example, a hot dog or a hot dog is a type of sausage that is typically eaten on a bun. Students, it may be hot, but it's certainly not a dog. The combination of these two words means something entirely different than the mere combination of the adjective hot and the noun dog, which would refer to an overheated panting canine. Let's now understand how compound nouns are formed. Compound nouns, like all the compound words, can be formed in three ways. The first way, the closed form. These compound nouns simply push two words together to form a single word with no additional punctuation or spaces between them. For example, softball, keyboard, makeup, etc. Students, as we can see in these words as well, the first word softball has been made with two different words, that is soft and ball. But when they are pushed together to form a single word, the meaning of these two words change entirely and they become a different word. Likewise, keyboard and makeup are also such examples. The second way by which the compound nouns can be formed is the hyphenated form or the hyphenated way. These compound nouns connect two or more words with one or more hyphens between them. For example, six pack, 5-year-old, son in law. The third form is the open form. These are the compound nouns that function as one unique word, but they are written as two or more separate words with a space between each component. So here there will be space and also there won't be any hyphen. For example, post office, middle class, attorney general, etc. Let's now read about the countable nouns. As the name itself suggests, the countable nouns are for things we can count using numbers. They have a singular and a plural form. For example, books, tables, apples, etc. These can be counted, so that's why they're termed as countable nouns. These can be singular or plural. For example, one book, two books, 10 books, etc. We can use articles before countable nouns as well. For example, a book, an apple, a table, etc. Students, it's really important to note that when we ask a question regarding a countable noun, we always use how many. For example, how many books or how many apples, etc. We can use indefinite articles a and an with countable nouns. For example, a dog is an animal. When a countable noun is singular, we must use a word like a, the, my, this with it. For example, I want an orange. Where is my bottle? Students, when countable noun is plural, we can use it alone. Like, I like oranges. Similarly, bottles can break. There's no need to write two bottles can break or four bottles can break. We can use words like some and any with countable nouns. For example, I've got some dollars. Have you got any pen? We can also use a few and many with countable nouns. I've got a few dollars. I haven't got many pens. Let's quickly move on to the eighth type of nouns, that is the uncountable nouns. As the name itself suggests, uncountable nouns cannot be counted or divided individually, but they can be measured. For example, 1 liter of milk or 1 kilogram of sugar. We cannot count milk and nor we can count sugar. That's why we use a measuring unit with them like liter or kilogram. Let's now go through a few measuring words that can be used with uncountable nouns. First, a bag of flour, rice or gold dust, a bar of chocolate, gold or soap, a bottle of coke, milk, water or soda, a bowl of cereal, rice or soup, a box of cereal or paper, a can of cream or meat or tuna, a carton of ice cream or orange juice or milk, a cup of hot chocolate or coffee or tea, a drop of blood or oil or water, a glass of juice or water, a grain of rice or sand or truth, a jar of honey or jam or peanut butter. Students, it's really important to note that there are no singular or plural forms for uncountable nouns. While asking the questions regarding uncountable nouns, we use how much. For example, How much milk do you want? How much sugar I get? How much sugar should I get from the market? Please note that we do not use the articles a or an with uncountable nouns. We use words like some, little, less, least, much, etc. For example, some milk, less food, little time, much pleasure, much sleep, etc. Let's now read about the phrases and the clauses. Sometimes a group of words make sense, but not a complete sense. Such group of words are known as phrases. For example, the future of the IPL on the iPad. So here we can see a group of words or phrases, but they do not make a complete sense. We can change these phrases into sentences by adding other words to them. But it is really important to note that one of these words we add must be a verb. A sentence has a verb in it, but a phrase does not. Let's make a few examples. I saw three people sitting in the room and discussing the future of the IPL. Second, could you please check the weather forecast for tomorrow on the iPad? A noun phrase is a group of words that does the work of a noun and it answers the question what or who. It's important to note that noun phrase in a sentence can act as both a subject or an object. For example, early to bed is a good maxim. We enjoy playing cricket. I enjoyed reading book. To win a prize is my ambition. As we can see in all these sentences, we are answering about what. For example, what is a good maxim? Early to bed is a good maxim. What do you enjoy? We enjoy playing cricket. What do you enjoy? I enjoyed reading this book. What is my or your ambition? To win a prize is my ambition. Let's now see the position of the noun phrase. In the first sentence, the noun phrase is acting as a subject, while in the second, it is acting as an object. In the third, as well, it is an object, and in the fourth, it is a subject again. Students, a noun phrase can be the subject of a verb, the object of a verb, the complement of a verb, or the object of a preposition. Let's see a few examples. The boys of our class were dancing. Here, the noun phrase is the subject of a verb. Second, Radha sang a Punjabi song. Here, the noun phrase is the object of the verb. Then, my father works in a big factory. Here, the noun phrase is an object of the preposition. Ram seems a very gentle person. Here, it is the complement of a verb. Let's read about the noun clauses. A noun clause tells you what someone says, thinks, or asks. It usually answers the question what. For example, Grandma can't remember where she left her spectacles. So we can ask the question, what does the grandma cannot remember? Grandma cannot remember where she left her spectacles. Second, the news report says that Superstorm Sandy is a result of global warming. Here also we can ask the question, what? What is the result of global warming? The news report says that the superstorm Sandy is the result of global warming. I always thought I could swim well. What did you always think? I always thought I could swim well. Students, let's note a few differences between noun phrases and the noun clauses. There are basically three differences between the noun phrases and the noun clauses. The noun phrase has no subject or predicate of its own, while the noun clause has a subject and a predicate of its own. The noun phrases has no meaning on its own, while the noun clause can stand on its own. The noun phrases has no verb, while the noun clause has a
I
verb.
hope you've all understood the topic. We will meet in our next class. Till then, take care, stay home, stay safe.